What's up, guys? It's your boy, Dyslexic Bear in the Big Blue House here. Yeah, remember that show. Today we're doing a story time, which I have not done before, and it is pretty weird doing since I'm usually doing gaming videos, but alas, I'll have to ride the bandwagon of doing a story time like most channels do. Now, I'm about to be in 8th grade. All I'll say is that summer's coming to an end, as you know, because it is August. Yeah, so last year, I literally had, so basically how the school works is that, you get put into 7 different periods, not that different from most school districts, but my second period was the most interesting one. I mean, my first period was pretty, let's just say my history teacher is pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. Third period, it's more like, uh, it's kind of stale. Fourth period is, my goof off period, that's what I called it. And fifth period was, gym, so, eh. It's not like I like physical activity, but I'm not a total couch potato. Um, and then there's band, which, I mean, I'm pretty good at playing the saxophone, but, and then there's fucking math, in which is probably, teacher-wise, one of the best classes, but subject-wise, just, yeah. So, So, my second period teacher, why am I talking about her today? Well, she was literally from hell. Not joking. She is the second coming of Satan herself. Okay, so let me give you a little background. Our old technology teacher, Miss Gibson, um, had retired. She was a cancer survivor, and she was going to retire in Alaska, which not that bad of a plan. So she leaves, and we're stuck with no teacher for a month. And you know what that means? Time to play some FPS games on the computer. Yeah, so basically we were without a teacher, without any rules for a month. Just like no rules. Oh boy. So it was complete anarchy. Every man for himself. And some kids were actually smart and left the class before the substitute got here. Which, I mean, 30,000 IQ. Yeah, so, I was one of the idiots that didn't leave while I still had the chance and was stuck with this female dog. I'm not gonna say her real name because if she possibly sees this video, she would probably send me to the darkest pits of hell. Um, yeah, so let me just give a little background. She was from Canada, in which, you know that stereotype in which Canadians are all nice? Not true, buckaroo. And, she had 2 kids, which, I mean, soccer mom. And yeah, she had that "may I speak to your manager" haircut. Actually, no, her hair actually looked a little bit more like the iceberg that sunk the Titanic, but okay. It looked like a mountain. Um, yeah, so for some reason, me and my friends in the class were behaved. We were kind of a blip on the radar. Yeah, whenever you misbehave in front of a teacher, I call it a blip. And if you're a repeat offender, you're more like entire Boeing 747. But yeah, so basically me and my friends were behaved in the class because we literally just had anarchy for a month, and we're just like, who's this female dog? So then we're like, okay, who are you? And then she sets up all these unnecessary rules that didn't even work. Like, I mean, I get that gum's kind of annoying in class because, it can be possibly a distraction, but no water bottles. What? What if some kid needs to take their medication or something? Then they're screwed. And, yeah. Also, she set up this rule, no foreign websites without permission, which is just fucking stupid. We can play whatever the hell we want. And we broke that rule every single day because after each assignment, we would play either Minecraft, this FPS game called the Rush Team, or I would just do terrifying Photoshop jobs, in which I'm probably gonna show one up on the screen here. If you don't want, if you want to live, close your eyes. Now, these three kids, no, not three, four kids, were like repeat offenders in this class, and it's not that they were bad kids. It's just that they were kind of the teacher probably had something against them or something, and wouldn't you know it, 3 out of the 4 kids were black. Yeah, and one of them even got expelled because of her. Now let me tell you the backstory. The backstory is when one of I was not necessarily good friends, but just we knew each other. Those 4 people, I kind of just knew them, and I think it was. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was just making some joke about having something in his bag. He was just making a joke. Any person with common sense would realize, oh, this kid's making a joke. Don't take it too seriously. Well, she's like, okay, let's go get your bag searched by the front office. So we're all like, what? And of course, nothing's in there. Nothing was in there. He was just making a joke. Yeah, and for some reason, she just had this huge prejudice against this kid because, like, every single day she'd be, oh yeah, did I mention her voice? It's the most ear bleeding thing possible. And every single day she would be like yelling at the top of her lungs, and it's just like unbearable. So, college, you better be worth it because I had to sit through this hell. Yeah, that's basically how it works. So then, yeah, that kid wasn't the worst, but here's the worst part. He actually got his Xbox taken away for the entire summer. This entire summer, because this was last year. So he's got his Xbox taken away for the entire summer, and I just heard that he got it back just a few days ago, which that is tough stuff. And me and Fred were just like, "Yo, what? Get me out of here! Get me out of this hell!" Because it was basically the Earth Earth version of hell. Just gonna say that. And now, for some reason, I was I wasn't really your teacher's pet because but I was probably the best one in the class when it came to computers because chief, I've dealt with computers ever since I was a 4, so and my grandma builds computers, well not builds, just worked with them a lot. And yeah, and I used to spend a lot of time over there. And so I knew the ins and outs of editing a video, Photoshop. Of course, I mentioned that earlier. And one of the projects was to make a video, and I did the best on it because, I'm just that awesome. Not really. It was just a really easy video to make. Except, some of the kids were having a little bit of trouble with the project, which I can see because they probably never touched an Adobe program in their life because they couldn't even get past the front screen where you had to press file, save, open. It was actually hilarious. So then, basically, I had helped. She basically forced me to help these kids out, which I didn't want to do because, one, most of the kids, let's just put it at this, most middle schoolers are kind of rude and don't know what the hell they're talking about, myself included. But these people are just way worse. I mean, I consider myself kind of nice on the rudeness spectrum, but these kids were just like the most toxic people ever. And well, let's just say it didn't work out. I'm just like, screw it, you're on your own, figure it out yourself. And that is why most of the kids turned in that project, I don't know, 2 months late. So basically, it caused a mass late project due thing. Yeah, and working in a class was not fun. I mean, sure, I used computers, but it was just not fun. Like, usually when I use a computer, even when I'm doing something tedious, it's still fun. But this was not. Because, okay, let me give you the lemonade story. Now, in this class, we had to do a project where we had to, uh, not, yeah, observe our total profits using some lemonade game online. And let's just say this lemonade game was like from 2005. It had those monochrome, not monochrome graphics. It just had really bad graphics and really bad sounds, and it looked like it was from like the early 2000s. Not gonna lie. And the thing is, if you save your game and come back the next day, that save file is gonna be gone. Gone. So what I used was a random number generator to generate numbers from, like, basically I did the first day, figured out how much we were gonna do each day, and then went to an RNG, typed in those numbers, boom bam bop, got the whole project done in a few hours, and it was pretty easy. But then because for some reason she likes to put me right next to her desk, so then I kind of hide the tab, and I do not get away with it because she has screenshots. Oh yeah, let me tell you about the retarded school system that can that she installed on all the computers. Now, before this system was installed, we can do whatever the hell we wanted on computers. Well, she installed a program where she can just lock out the computers, show her screen, and do whatever, which was the most boring thing ever. Now, yeah, okay, so back to the story, I guess. Actually, no, 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 no. So one time she had the principal called in here just for I don't know. I just don't know. Like one day I just come into the classroom, the principal is there, and he's just not yelling, but talking some kid out, and I'm like, okay. So then that kid and the principal leave, and I'm like, and I asked my friends what the hell was that about, and they don't know either. So that was just confusing. And then when it came to the end of the year, at this point she had kind of just given up because at this point we were kind of trying to get on her nerves to get her to leave. And we kind of succeeded because when I looked at the yearbook the last year, she said that it said that she was leaving the school, which let's just say a good riddance. Yeah, she was basically the second coming of Satan. Not sure if she's gonna move to a different school. If she is, then I feel bad for whatever school she goes to. Whew, yeah, you can tell I've never done a story time like this before, but I guess that is going to do for the video. Leave a like, subscribe, do whatever the hell you want. Share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Niggas in my butthole, niggas in my butthole, niggas in my butthole, niggas in my butthole, niggas in my butthole.